Alright, so this is one of my personal favorite topics when it comes to Pokemon, and it's the pre-evolutions. Man, we have not had many pre-evolutions added in a long time when it comes to the Pokemon mainline games. I mean, the time we last saw pre-evolutions, or when we first saw them added, was as a feature back in Pokemon Generation 2 with the introduction of Pokemon like Pichu, Cleffa, Igglybuff, Togepi. Actually, Togepi was more of a baby Pokemon, but Tyrogue was a pre-evolution though, and Smoochum, Elekid, Magby as well. But there was also an addition of pre-evolutions in Ruby and Sapphire with Azurill and Wynaut. And we can't forget the one that added most of them, that being Pokemon Diamond and Pearl with Badoo, Chingling, Bonsly, Mr. Mime, Happiny, Munchlax, Mantike. I mean, there were loads of them. But Diamond and Pearl was also the first game to introduce brand new evolutions for Pokemon like Magmar, Electabuzz, and Rhydon, with the additions of them having new evolutions. So, now that we are getting Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, as well as Pokemon Legends Arceus, I thought we would do a series of videos exploring some possible, pre-evolutions, new evolutions, and lost evolutions that could be introduced in these various games, some that could be introduced to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and some that could be introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, starting off with this series, we will start with the new pre-evolutions in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl that could happen, so sit back, relax, and grab yourself a Coke that's been behind your PC all morning, getting really, moppy and weird from all the sunlight hitting it. Just get that really disgusting drink, sit back, and let's jump into the subject matter. Starting this whole thing off is a pre-evolution for none else than Lapras. Now, Lapras is a Pokemon that has been around since the first generation of Pokemon, but has yet to receive any sort of crazy forms or changes besides the recent Gigantamax form that I found was a sort of just forgotten, Pokemon design in the, kind of the crowd due to Pokemon like Charizard also getting, G-Max forms, as well as kind of taking away all the attention from all the other stuff. But yeah, Lapras itself, though, is one of those Pokemon that's always been strange because it almost feels like it does have a pre-evolution already, but it doesn't. So giving it a pre-evolution would just make the whole Pokemon feel far more complete. So honestly, just a more cute and less rugged version of what we already have, I could essentially do the job without much else of an issue kind of cropping up from this, right? I think just a general, very simple design could do the job and kind of get the whole point across as to what a pre-evolution for this Pokemon could look like. Okay, so this next one is one that I've shown in past videos when I discussed pre-evolutions, and I think also this one deserves some love, and that's a pre-evolution for Girafarig. Now, this is a Pokemon that's from Generation 2, and honestly, I'm surprised that this Johto Pokemon has not gotten anything in this amount of time, and we've seen no additions to it and changes to it whatsoever. It's very much, again, a forgotten Pokemon, very much just forgotten in the crowd of other things. So why not reward it with a smaller and more cute design that just enhances its potential to become even more popular, and also, in the same way it's kind of boosted popularity of other Pokemon that got pre-evolutions, it only makes sense that this thing would also deserve it. Like Girafarig, I feel like could work well with a pre-evolution in something of a design like this, just kind of being a smaller version of what we already know, and just kind of basically getting people excited to, have a Girafarig in their team again. Now this one I would argue is a bit of an unnecessary one, but it's more or less just a fun one and also somewhat a logical one. But imagine an even smaller and more cute version of Eevee that just sort of exists. Yeah, this would, I would argue, be the most unlikely and least needed one, but I don't see why it couldn't be a possibility as well with Eevee's popularity being massive and the Pokemon companies aim to make it into a new mascot for Pokemon. This would just add to the kind of same way that Pikachu got Pichu back in Generation 2, though Eevee does already have loads of evolutions or Eeveelutions, so maybe a pre-evolution would sort of be unnecessary. I would argue, yeah, that kind of would be the case, but the possibility is not something out of the, question. It is actually kind of possible. They could do this to just give it even more of a boost in popularity. I mean, think about the amount of forms they've given to Charizard. I mean, literally, think about the amount of them. You've got Charizard, you've got Mega Charizard X and Y, Pokemon Mega Charizard like G-Max. They literally love adding new things to it, and a lot of the popular Pokemon do get more stuff. So would it really be that surprising if we got a brand new form added to none else than Eevee, but it wouldn't be a brand new evolution, but a pre-evolution instead? I think it's a possibility. So this one might be a bit odd, but what if we got a brand new form for little Lickitung? Yeah, I know this one's a bit strange, I will argue as well, it's kind of an odd one, but what if we just genuinely got a new form for Lickitung? Just a smaller one that just looks a little bit more cute. Again, this is more going back to the original gen, right? So, it is a little bit of an odd one, but I don't see why it wouldn't happen. Also, with a design just like this, I mean, I'm gonna be fair, I would love for something like this to happen personally. Again, some people may not, some people do, but personally, I wouldn't mind a design like this myself. So what are you guys' thoughts on and opinions, let me know in the comment section down below. Then we have a pre-evolution that I've also mentioned in the past, and this one would be for some of the single stage Pokemon of Hoenn, and I'm talking about Zangoose in particular this time. See, Zangoose getting a pre-evolution could make it more of a desirable Pokemon. Like, let's be fair, this is a Pokemon that has an awesome shiny version, so I would love to hunt for a pre-evolution version of it that looks the same in terms of color change and all that. And I don't know, I think it'd just be fun to have a pre-evolution for Zangoose. Again, just a lot of these forgotten Pokemon. That's why a lot of people may not be excited about this video, because some of you might be expecting like, oh, I want to see a pre-evolution for Charmander. Personally, I don't. I would just want to see pre-evolutions for other Pokemon, and these are some of the ones I think deserve it in particular. So, since we mentioned Zangoose, it's only logical to include its natural predator and enemy of Zangoose, that being the sneaky boy himself, Seviper. Now, it's odd how Ekans and Arbok exist and got like evolution stages and all that stuff, but Seviper never got a first stage, which is odd since it seems like kind of an obvious choice for a literal snake to have a smaller version of itself. Like, I just don't understand why some of these Pokemon don't have pre-evolutions to begin with, or first stages. Like, I get it, they want to limit the amount of Pokemon, and not every Pokemon needs to have an evolution, but hey, I think Seviper deserves it after being memed on by that whole Pokemon TV show thing, where they literally assumed that, hey, you know, who does Ekans turn into? Seviper? Yeah, I don't think so. So I think just because of that, this thing deserves some cred and love, so give it a pre-evolution, come on. Now, this is going to be the weirdest one, I would argue, right? What about a pre-evolution for Wailord and Wailmer? Like, I know this one is odd. I get it. Trust me, I fully get it. This one is a strange one. But personally, okay, just personally saying here, why not have a baby Pokemon or pre-evolution for Wailmer? I mean, look at this design. This literally would work in my opinion. I think this could work. I mean, it looks a little bit odd. It is a little bit strange. Looks like 3 Pokeballs mashed together, but let's be fair. What is Wailord and Wailmer really, if not just a giant looking like, I don't know, like a blue Twinkie, give or take? That's sort of what it looks like. Just a blue Twinkie. Just saying, right? So I don't see what the issue would be to have like 3 Pokeballs, you know, essentially mashed together being a Pokemon as well. I mean, don't we already kind of have that with a few Pokemon like, you know, Magnemite and Magnezone and all those guys? Like, they kind of look like Pokeballs as well as like, you know, like we already have Pokemon like that. So what's the problem with having one like this for already a beloved Pokemon? I mean, I'm just saying, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I'd love it. Now, this is the final one I will include, and that's got to be Tangela. Yeah, Tangela getting a pre-evolution would make a lot of sense because there was a planned version for that back seemingly in Generation 2. So completing the evolutionary line with that, you know, having the pre-evolution, then Tangela, and then Tangrowth would just make sense as a way to kind of complete this Pokemon as well, like what we talked about with a lot of other options here as well. Just a way to complete it. So what do you guys think about that? Then we have a pre-evolution for none other than specifically Drowsy. Now, Drowsy is, again, a very unpopular Pokemon in general terms. A Pokemon that's been around for, well, ages now. It's one of the oldest Pokemon since it's from Generation 1 and all that. And I'm really surprised, like, they never gave it some sort of, like, added stuff to it, right? Like, it's just kind of drowsy, it's just kind of boring. But imagine if it had a pre-evolution. Yay, this is what it would look like. I genuinely would love this. What do you guys think? And we're finishing this one off with a Pokemon that recently did get a brand new form, which is Galarian, you know, Farfetch'd and then Sirfetched and all that. And I just don't know why, but this thing is a Garchfetch'd, which would be a pre-evolution specifically of Farfetch'd. Now, I can imagine these things probably roaming around, maybe in like, you know, the Sinnoh remakes of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or we could bring this one up in a future video, which we're going to talk about the possible pre-evolutions for Pokemon Legends Arceus, as I think that game actually could have some pre-evolutions in it, and one of those examples would be a specifically Farfetch'd pre-evolution. What do you guys think about that? Let me know, and bye-bye.